Empire Speedway Director, Mr. Owen Bateman. Owen, do you recall your very earliest association with Billy Sanders in those early years?
Yes, indeed I do, Dennis. I can recall in the very early 70s where Billy was riding as a teenager at the Liverpool Speedway, and he came to my attention as a potential star, and I think I was a little bit responsible in getting him to appear here for the New South Wales Championship, I believe in 1972, which of course he went on and won with an absolute maximum. So yes, I do recall Billy's early years, and as we all know, he went on to world honours after that. But I think that was his very first appearance here at the Sydney Showground as a teenager.
Right, now of course you were chairman of Australian Test Match Selectors in those earlier years.
That is true.
Was there much lobbying to get him into an Australian test side? Or did he walk in as an automatic selection?
No, he certainly didn't walk in. I wouldn't say lobbying was the correct word. You see, the other selectors are from other states, and they didn't know much about Billy Sanders. They may have read some publicity, but they'd never seen him. He'd never been interstate, to the best of my knowledge, at that early stage when he was a teenager and doing so well in his first year or so. But I could see his potential, and I certainly pushed to get him included in an Australian team, much against the well, there was some opposition from the other selectors, but I think I carried the day a little bit, and we all know what happened then. He came in and rode for Australia and rode like the champion that he is.
Well, you've seen Billy perform both locally, interstate and overseas. Is there any particular performances from Billy Sanders that stand out in your mind?
One or two, yes. I mean, all his performances have been excellent. I've never seen Billy not perform. There's a reason for all this, but I would say the most important match that I've seen him in Australia would certainly be the Australasian title here at this track, which was the very first World Championship progression ever held in this country, and it happened to be at this track. Billy didn't win it, but he certainly had the crowd with him all the way. I think he finished fourth. Ivan Major won it. Bolger, I believe, was second. But Billy put on the most magnificent performance, and he certainly had the whole crowd, and that's the one that sticks in my memory. The other one was at his home track in Ipswich in England, and that was a match against, I believe, Halifax, and he scored a maximum there. I happened to see the meeting, and it just brought the house down. He was superb.
Now, in those earlier years, what were the qualities that caught your attention with Billy Sanders as a speedway rider?
Well, several qualities are required. First, you've got to be able to ride a motorcycle, and that he could do, and do well. Secondly, he had to prepare his motorcycle, and there would be no motorcycle in the pits as well prepared as Billy Sanders' machine and his crew and his equipment and his clothing. His general demeanour in the pits was spotless. He never left dirt on his leathers. He wiped it off. He never appeared in front of the public dirty with mud or dirt on his leathers. And I think this goes to make a top motorcycle rider. Preparation is one, and ability first, I'd have to say, but preparation is the big thing. He rarely ever broke down.
In those early years also, Owen, could you see him as being a future Australian champion and a future world finalist?
Oh yes, very definitely, very definitely. He had every quality going for him. He had a good manager, he had the equipment, as I mentioned earlier, had the best of equipment, so much so the Australian public, as you will remember, rallied to help him in his World Championship honours with a fund effort which allowed him to buy the very best equipment to compete with the Europeans and British stars. So yes, I would say that he definitely had all the qualities right from the word go. Clean line, smooth approach to the corners, and you've only got to watch the film of him where he puts his foot out and slides in a constant, regular slide, not chopping and changing all over the place, but absolute perfection in smoothness. And I think that's one of the qualities that made him such a good rider.
Owen Bateman, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to talk with us today in the career of Billy Sanders, and we wish you future health and success in all your future business endeavours, and again, thanks for the time.
Thank you, Dennis. It's been my pleasure.
We've been talking with former Empire Speedway Director, Mr. Owen Bateman,